Service members often face PTSD and other mental health issues that can feel unbearable at times. In fact, many contemplate suicide. Now there's a campaign to stop veterans from feeling like that's their only choice. Erica Zuka shows us what a local clinic is doing about the struggle.
Army veteran Adam Gordon says he's been deployed twice, first as a convoy driver, then as a combat engineer in Afghanistan. The second time, he says he saw a lot more that hit him hard.
Looking for IEDs, improvised explosive devices, to clear routes for the other patrols and convoys.
When he got home, he says something didn't feel right.
I sought care because I knew that from my first deployment, it was a little bit different. I encouraged a lot of my battle buddies to seek care at that time too, but they just wanted to go home.
Jill Palmer, a Navy veteran who comes from a family of veterans and the director of the Stephen A. Cohen Military Clinic in San Antonio, says not seeking care is common and often leads to tragedy.
The VA reports that veterans are actually 22% higher than non-veterans to die by suicide.
That's why Endeavors, which offers help for veterans and families dealing with mental health issues, started #22actions, the number 22 to remember the higher percentage of veterans dying by suicide. The resource clinic will work every day to spread awareness of the suicide risks veterans face and where to get help.
Therapy helped me a lot. And talking about it does help. You know, it lowers that stress level of that, you know, the memories and the dreams and everything that happens, that comes along with it, you know. So it's really good to kind of get it out.
You can learn more about free help for veterans and their families in San Antonio through Endeavors. We have their website and phone number at KENS5.com. Erica Zuko, KENS 5 Eyewitness News.